Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. It is Markets in the Morning. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. Today is Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. Welcome to Markets in the Morning. This is where we take a look at the price action of the cryptocurrency market, including the Bitcoin price charts, along with the altcoin market. Take a peek over there at the United States stock market, which is set to open up here in 2 minutes, along with looking at things like precious metals like gold and silver, and the US dollar currency index, or the DXY, followed by financial news and crypto news as we kick off this fine Wednesday. Big day today out there today. I'm sure if we went back in the dates and we looked at it, maybe we could find it happening again at some point, but just such a crazy macro day today because we have CPI that just came out about an hour ago. I'm sure all of you have noticed that crypto market popped. The stock market's going to open up big time too. Looks like the Dow's going to open up 371 points. The Nasdaq's going to open up 163, and the S&P will be up. Why can't I find you? There you are, 46 points. So just a little bit under 1%, about a 1% pop for the stock market as we get ready for it to open today. So CPI was a beat by 0.1%. Of course, that's the first element of the craziness of today. Later today in about, I don't even have to say about, there we go, 4 hours, 30 minutes, and 35 seconds, we're going to end up having the FOMC rate decision. Market has it priced at a 99.9% probability. We will still continue to remain paused. So that's what the market does anticipate. We'll see what happens. If you've caught the last couple of videos, we've talked about some stuff going on here in the market and just the way things have been looking. We'll see if that ends up being true. If the Fed remains paused, and if they do remain paused, what is their forward guidance looking like now that unemployment's at 4%, the ECB has been cutting, and the Bank of Canada has been cutting, and I've been watching Danielle DiMartino-Puth saying that all the economic data technically says we actually are in recession, which is crazy. But dang, Pat dropped a 50 bomber. Brother, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. You guys have all been doing stuff in there. I'll get to all of it. Thank you all very, very much. All right, so let's take a look here throughout the market. So again, we will be live streaming that. So whatever time that is for you, it's 4 hours that we will go live at the top of the hour or 5 minutes before. So we'll go live at like 1:55 p.m. Eastern time, 12:55 p.m. Central time, and 10:55 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You'll have to kind of figure that out for yourself on when that is UTC. You can always check out the CME group and look at the little countdown, and it'll tell you right there. So get ready for that live stream today. We'll do that, and we always have a good time there doing that. We've had to miss the last couple of them because I've been out of town. But okay, there you go. Pop over there with Bitcoin back to $69,000 as we kick off this morning, right after the CPI data was released. The DXY took a big, massive turn to the downside. You can look at this thing on the 1 minute chart. Boom, there you go. There's release of CPI. Big shoot down straight there for the US dollar currency index. So, of course, getting that big pop up in there, just like, and then boom, there you go, CPI data. Again, today, it's going to be a crazy day just because of all the events. I do not remember a day where we have CPI and the FOMC on the exact same day. These events, like CPI, can create a volatility week. The whole week can be volatile on its own just from CPI. And from FOMC, the Fed, it can be volatile the whole week just because of that one event. But to get both of them on the same day is truly crazy. But okay, there you go. Stock market open. Dow Jones up 367 points. The S&P is up 49 points. The Nasdaq's up 170 points. All indexes are up almost 1%. Looks like the Russell is actually taking a little bit of a pop there. I think I got the Russell over here. We'll take a look at that one. Boom. Russell has the bigger move of the day out of all of them, up 2.83% right in there. Still no new high setting here on these smaller time frames. But boom, that's a pretty decent move there for the Russell. I don't recall seeing... I don't think we haven't seen that type of move since dating back to last year. A 2.7% move on the Russell in one day. So, oh boy, if we can get expansion, oh boy. All right, but there you go. Bitcoin 69,000. This was the pretty much the topic of the last two videos, but yesterday really just in detail of that, saying, you know, if the magical unicorn fairy dust or puppet masters pulling the puppet strings god or simulation wants to show up and do something, it all points to the Fed meeting. So we'll see how that ends up panning out later today. Moving over here to total 2. Of course, we can see here total 2. That was a rejection at the retracement levels. Now finding a support here based off the data that we saw come out this morning. XRP, nothing has changed in here. Still just drifting along. Nothing new showing up. There we go. There's the Dow Jones up to 84. DXY again 1043. Gold is at $2,334 to kick off the day. Silver is actually having a little bit of a bigger move. It was up 80 cents right when I went live. Now it's up 73 cents this morning, back above $30 for silver, and at 23.34 there for gold. So that is what we have to start our day off. Hard to say too much more about it until we actually can get through the remaining events of the day and then see how the market responds to itself as we get through the end of the week and if there's any surprises. Obviously, the market got slightly surprised today by the beat on CPI. Can we get a bigger surprise this afternoon? That would be ideal. So let's look over there at the stock market, see who's winning, who's losing today. Coinbase is leading the day. ARK and NVIDIA losers today. GameStop, AMC slipped slight into the green there. GE, but no really big losers except for GameStop. But GameStop's super volatile, right? Yesterday it was up 22%, now down 3%. Who knows what that thing will do by the end of the day. One thing I was watching over here on Coinbase as well. So if you're trying to get at least... I don't know if there's going to be any edge that comes out of the Coinbase stock chart or not, but it as well, of course, went back to retracements too, right? So here's your November of 2021 peak, the peak of the market, right? Here's IPO, right? Here's IPO day. Here's the peak of the market, and it also has gone back to retracement levels. So we'll keep our eyes on this thing too. If this gives like some early signal or something like that, that would be something to pay attention to. It may be a laggard. Here's what we'll do. We'll do this. Let's do... Is there anything in... No, you're not going to get a dang thing from that. They're going to move right on cue. So, anyway, you could see that there as well. You could see that Coinbase also... What did it do? Retraced. No expansion there for Coinbase as well. So, we'll see if we start getting some action to show up here in the market... And we're kind of like, is it, isn't it? This can be one of those things we can reflect back on as well and say, look, this one is doing it too. We could probably lean on the idea that we are expanding if that comes, right? Which obviously we haven't yet, right? So, okay. I don't know why we're looking at Coinbase. Oh, because it's the leader of the day. ARK, NVIDIA, and Google losers, or GameStop now only down 1.2%. Yields are down slightly. Metals all up. Dollar down big time. Dollar had a really big knockdown there on that CPI. CPI, like in itself, I don't know. Do we want to talk about CPI? I don't know if we want to talk about CPI. Dog just opened door and barked. Oh. And wife came in here. Sorry, guys. There we go. All right. Hi. All right. There you go. Have a good day. Okay. My son had to walk in here. Sorry about that. Wife gave me monster. Son needed hug. Okay. Back to what are we talking about? CPI. Okay. CPI. Here, we'll do this. we'll pull up what happened. Here's our data. Here's what came out. Edit, copy, paste. There we go. Okay. Core beat expectations of 3.5%, coming in at 3.4. CPI beat expectations of 3.4, coming in at 3.3. Month over month beat expectations of 0.1%, coming in at 0.0. So let's go look at month over month. These were things that we talked about too, and that would actually end up being a challenge to be able to drop CPI aggressively over the course of the next 3 months. That even though we ended up having a 0%, we still only dropped by 0.1%, right? Because when we go back, what are we knocking out? We're knocking out this one right here. Right. So the challenges are for this month, the next month, and the next month, making any significant improvements to actual year-over-year CPI to try to get that 2 handle on the front of it. You have a better shot June, July, August, September, and October. And we talked about this too. Like we get to the elections here in November, right? But you'll have your September readings and your October readings, and you'll get to knock out that 0.5%. You'll get to knock out that 0.4%. So that like you can already kind of visually see how the data is going to look as we get ready for the election, that we may have like a 2.7% CPI as we get to the election, and be able to, these certain people can do victory laps and say, see, I beat inflation. And we could see on the data that as we get closer to that election, and right, this will be the last reading I think we'll have. Yeah, this will be our last reading we have before the election, that these two will get knocked out. So, I mean, if you did the same thing, if you got like a 0.1 or a 0.2 going all the way through here for these next few ones, you would have a 2 handle heading into November of this year as you get ready for the election to actually happen. Economic data. Is it real? All right, Dow up 295, NASDAQ up 207, S&P up 49, Bitcoin at 69,300. And then, you know, like we were talking about yesterday, whether or not today would actually be our catalyst day for us to get out of here with these things moving absolutely on par with each other in just an unbelievably phenomenal way. So phase 1, but you know, there's still that other part of it today. You know, like when we watch those Fed meetings, we always hear, you know, we always see it. We visually see it. The first move isn't the real move sometimes, right? And I'm not saying that is the case here. Part of me is just kind of like, okay, great. Market is happy about CPI. Makes sense. We get a pop. All good. But the thing after that is then there's like that one more big event today, which we normally don't have to deal with. There's that other one still a few hours away from now. Let's get through that one real quick before we all get too euphoric and too happy. And that's kind of where my mind is at right now. But I'm looking over at the side of the screen and see 132 members have been gifted. My God. What are y'all doing? Thank you. Andy too. Guys, thank you. Okay. All right, so let's just run through it really quick. Obviously, we got a nice pop in here. If you didn't catch yesterday's video, I'm just not going to spend this whole video or this whole live stream talking all about the. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're this far into this and I haven't done it. I'm so sorry. You know what happened? It was because my son came in and distracted me. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday,
I was sitting here. All right, so my son came in. He needed a hug, and then I got back to talking. And while I'm talking, I'm like, something doesn't feel right. Like it feels so quiet, and I'm like, And then like what I realized right there was like, oh yeah, I don't have that really big, stupid, dumb grin on my face after playing the frog in front of 2,500 people. So, all right, happy Wednesday, everybody. And boy, we'll take it, right? So we also play the frog during the Fed, only if the market responds very well to the Fed after that ends up going. So, all right, there you go. Green day over here in the crypto market. That's the first step that we wanted to see. We're not in the clear yet. There's still things that have to happen in here, but of course, the rest of today is going to be a very, very interesting day for all of us. So we'll see how it goes. Bitcoin 69.4. XRP holding itself up. Where is XRP at? You're at 49.3. Dow Jones is up. It's up 322 points, and the DXY got absolutely hammered right there during that move. So Russell 2000, of course, having a good day, up 2.9%. Good day for the Russell. So fingers crossed for that. And then looking over here, market still prices it in at a 99.9% probability that we're going to cut. And to remember, the Fed over the last several years has not gone. Look at this. It even just modified itself. 99.9% probability that they are not going to cut, that they're going to be paused. Now it's even shifted to a 0.1% probability that they're going to raise rates. The market has capitulated on the idea of cuts coming anytime soon. The probabilities of them happening now, it's at an 83% probability that we will still be paused there in July. So we'll see how things go today. Market says we're not cutting. We'll see if the Fed gives any forward guidance on what we should be looking for towards next week. Like a narrative wise, that would be absolutely perfect. Would be, and I'm not predicting they'll do this, but I use my imagination. It's, I like to use it. If they came out and they said, we think we've seen enough, we plan to do a 25 basis point or 0.25% cut next meeting, that would create euphoria. That would create buy the rumor. That would create insanity. And then, like we see every time that rate cuts start, S hits the fan. But that'd give you till like July 31st. That's all you need, man. That's all you need. So, all right. There you go. Enough rambling about this stuff. You see what's going on in there. You got to pop on CPI. It showed up right on time of what we were talking about in the last two videos in there. So hip, hip, hooray. We still have one big event still ahead of us today. So two major events today. The first one was at least past that economic data. The next is what's the Fed going to signal to the market, and what is retail? What kind of memes is retail going to come up with as they YOLO buy? We'll see. All right, moving on over there to news. Looking over there at financial news, Dow jumps 300 points. S&P hits record on cool inflation data as Fed decision looms. Inflation slows in May with consumer prices up 3.3% from a year ago. Let me show you this too. Just we see those headlines all the time, just so you do understand inflation, like you understand the trend. Like every month, we see hotter than expected, cooler than expected. Inflation cools, inflation gets hot. Inflation cools, inflation hot. This dates back to a year ago. These are our last 12 readings of year-over-year CPI. We hit 3% in June of last year, and then just constantly back and forth between 3 and 3.6. That's the state of it. The headlines always give a different illusion. Every time these things come out, we kind of laugh about it when it does happen. Oh, wow, they make it seem like it's just like spiraled out of control this month, or they make it sound like, oh, it's gotten so much better this month. Here's your last 12 months. That is a whole year sitting right there between 3 and 3.6%. What are we at today? 3.4, 3.3. Yeah, 3.3. We're right in the middle of it, right in the middle of what we've been at for the last 12 months, just to not let these headlines fool you in any way. 10-year Treasury yield tumbles ahead of Fed decision after CPI is unchanged in May. Dow futures jump 300 points on cool inflation. GameStop raises more than $2 billion by selling 75 million shares, capitalizing on the meme frenzy. Influencer Jake Paul launching men's skincare line at Walmart. I got nothing. All right. U.S. crude oil extends gains, trades above $78 as Department of Energy sees supply deficit. A brief drop in mortgage rates caused a huge surge in demand, but it may be short-lived. No, it's called summer. It's called June, where people buy houses. Okay. Moving over here. All right. Crypto downturn nukes $190 million in leverage positions as traders eye the CPI data. That must have been yesterday. That must have been 190 yesterday. What was it 2 days prior? It was like 300 million. Bitcoin average change in retail demand falls to 5-month low. Could a 75% rally be next? SocialFi boosts game revenue. Axie Infinity creator wants to ditch Discord, Web3 gamer. EU elections of 2024. Pro-crypto parties pick up seats amid green losses. I do know Trump made a big tweet. It's not a tweet, right? What is it? A truth. He posted a truth on his social media by wanting to have Bitcoin mined in the United States. EU election, pro-crypto party losses. CBDC's threat to freedom put under the microscope at Oslo conference. Bitcoin price rise risks a $60,000 dive as Bitcoin bid liquidity thins on new 3% dip. Okay. This must have been from yesterday. That was June 11th. Media telling you it's going to dive when it bottoms. Bitcoin dips as ETFs break 19-day green streak. Wait, Bitcoin dips as ETFs break their 19-day green streak. Rumble over U.S. inflation. EU Innovation Hub criticizes privacy coins and crypto mixers in a new report. Is $4,000 Ethereum a distant dream? No, it's like 10% away. Futures premium plunged to a 3-week low. SEC considers spot Ether ETF application from ProShares. Okay, Bitcoin ETF see $200 million in net outflows with Fed and CPI jitters. Okay, if you don't know why we see that, we're seeing that both times, right? They're talking about net outflows happening over there on Bitcoin ETFs because the last 19 days, apparently, according to that article, and I've seen people post that on Twitter nonstop, that there's actually been massive inflows into the Bitcoin ETFs, and people are screaming and crying and saying, why is the price not going up, even though the ETFs are seeing inflows in there? And then we finally got one day where there was outflows, and so that's why it's making news, because it went so long with inflows. But as you can see, macro, not ETF. Okay, Donald Trump said, there we go. Donald Trump says he wants all remaining Bitcoin to be made in the USA. Early Tuesday, Trump met executives from the NASDAQ-listed Bitcoin mining from CleanSpark Inc. and Riot Platforms. Okay. Protocol Village, blah, blah, blah. CPI was flat in May, beating expectations. First mover, Americas. Okay. There you have it. That's what's going on today. You have literally nothing going on in the cryptocurrency world. There's absolutely no news to talk about over there. You have everybody and their mom watching what's happening with CPI and what's happening with the Fed today, and if we're going to get some type of surprises to show up in here over the next couple of days in the market. First step was this. If you watched yesterday's video, we got it. Let us all go. Now, we want to get through need to get through this afternoon. So it's hard to say too much about it, except that's what we wanted. What we saw happen is exactly what we wanted, but we still know there's the other thing that's still going to happen today. And these are typical high volatility events. So, all right, there you go. I'm going to give you the frog because I failed you earlier.
It is Wednesday, my dude. It is Wednesday.
I talk about it with my buddies, like, about our age. I'm like, I don't feel the age that I'm supposed to be. Like, like when I go to the kids' schools and stuff like that, right? When there's like daddy-daughter dances, or when there's, like presentations and stuff like that happen, and the other dads are there, and they're all like in their ties and like got nice, clean corporate haircuts, and they're like all this stuff, and they just talk about the dumbest stuff. And like, I'm like, that's just like, I look at my age and I think I'm supposed to be that. I'm not. And I play a frog every Wednesday. That's the defining thing that I tell myself. I'm still young because I play a crazy frog every Wednesday with a big dumb smile on my face. So, okay. Hip hip hooray. First bounce. We got to get through the rest of the day to see if things hold up all right in here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hop on into the chat. You guys have been incredibly generous in there. I've seen them flying by, but chat has also been wild. I am curious what the chat rate is going to be today. Many times it's like 50 per day. I think we're going to be higher than that today. Happiest little place in the galaxy started us off before the stream even started with five memberships. Thank you very much. Right as World also gifted 5 as well. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. You guys both did that before the stream started. And Durham telling everybody, hit the like button. And thanks for all that you do, BCB, the member for 7 months. Thank you. Yeah, it's the number one way to support the channel, guys. If you just smash the like button, I appreciate it. Matty B, member for 7 months. Are you able to look at the chart to the base chain token NPC? No. I mean, I could on the deck screener, but I don't know what that is. I'm on this channel. It's really try to avoid pulling up that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Especially since I don't know what it is. Thank you, though. Philip McRae, member for 6 months. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Daddy. BCB, Wen Moon. Andy Philpott gifted 10 memberships. Brother, thank you very much, man. Marco, the XRP Maniac, gifted 1, 2. And then Gator came in with 10. Gosh, you guys are... And then, of course... I'm very grateful for you guys. Thank you. Gator, it was very generous that you gave 10. And Pat, that you gave 50. My gosh, man. And I know there's way more to go because I'm looking at the total number of new members. It's 143 today. Thank you, guys. Julian Robbins, member 6 months, says, BCB, let us go, brother. Quick question. Do you still think Filecoin is going into the moon? Oh, boy. Love you, bro. Let's clarify that. I literally said I have no idea what Filecoin's going to do. There's 2,800 people in here like, you think Filecoin's going to the moon? JB Heavy Equipment Services. Morning, BCB. Thanks again for having our back. By the way, the thumbnail says 2023. Get out of here. Have a good one. Okay. Sir, dang it. All right, here we go. I could do this live on stream. And you know what happened too is I updated the thumbnail and I was like, I messed up last week. I had left like June 2nd or something. I'm like, I'm not going to make that mistake this time. Put in the 12. It's like, see, we're good. There you go. How's that for Photoshop? Updated. Thank you. Octavian FX. Thank you very, very much. With all the scissors. I guess I don't get it. Hot Tub Brian says, where are the frogs, BCB? Yeah, that was me being really late. BCB, let the viewers know about the Equal Opportunity for All Investors Act of 2023. It's an alt path to becoming accredited, says Blaine. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we just don't really talk a whole lot about accredited investing here. I mean, I think there's things you can do, but, yeah, okay. Andy Philpott gifted 50 memberships. If your name turned green, man, that's part of the community. People just give that stuff away, and it's just unbelievable that they end up doing it. We do member streams once a month. We just kind of hang out and goof off. And then, of course, you got all the emojis in there. And thank you very much for the support, you guys. And then Pat, right after that, gifted another 20. I think we're butting up against like record territory for most members in one stream. Thank you guys very much. John O'Connor says, imagine Judge Torres' response comes in as well. I know, I'm dreaming. Well, you know, I think a lot of people put a lot of weight on Judge Torres's response, but it's like, what are you looking for? That's the thing I always say to myself. I'm like, I get it. Like influencers make this big deal out of it because, you know, price is down. So we blame that factor instead of looking at development activity and that it's ranked number 234 for total development activity and number 49 for total developers. But I digress. What are you looking for? Like how much Ripple has to pay? Like that's going to be the deciding factor on XRP go to moon. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm sure we'd all like to get it behind us and just to see how the market reacts to it. Getting it behind us in an expansion sure would be the ideal scenario, wouldn't it? Jim, but thank you, John. Jim gifted one membership. Thank you, Jim. Spencer Goldmain. Hey, I just want your input. From the April liquidation, does AVAX look like Wyckoff accumulation with a Creek 4-hour time frame? It looks like it. Thanks. Good eye, Spencer. So that's Spencer has been doing some studying. I haven't looked at AVAX to do it, but I've absolutely noticed it on other charts. So we could spend a minute to talk about that. What all do you see in here for those who don't know Wyckoff accumulation? We're going to do a little teach session here, right? So if we go breaking down further, no, I mean, it's probably in pretty big trouble, right? I mean, the thing about a lot of these right now is just kind of how they sit right here. It's like super danger level. You really want to see these things butt up. And that's one of these things we talked about here in yesterday's video about how we wanted to get back to the top of the range really fast. Not on total 2, but here on total 3. Multiple reasons why we want to get back to the top of the range really quick and not just kind of hang out down in here, but for this thing to not be very troublesome and break down even further. But in a Wyckoff accumulation, what are the things that we do look for? Let's go back over here because we have a lot of these things written on Monero. So you see that I'm not going to be making up these terms that we're about to talk about. We're going to talk about selling climaxes, automatic rallies, a secondary test, and secondary test in phase B. And then we're going to talk about spring. So the question that's being brought up in here is a Wyckoff accumulation question. And essentially he's asking, is this spring? Right? Could this be the ending? And so you look to all the phases in here, and what do you have? You have the selling climax, right? And you have the automatic rally. Then you have your secondary test, right? Then you set a new high. And then you have your secondary test in phase B, which is all of that, right? And then up, creek, spring. So let's go get Anatomy of a Trading Range by Jim Forte. And okay. So what do we have? We have our selling climax, right? Then we have our automatic rally, right? Then we have our secondary test, right? So that's another new high. Here we go. Now we have our secondary test in phase B, right? Roll up, creek, spring, all right? Creek, spring. So you're seeing this over here on AVAX, right? But I've spotted it over here on other ones as well. See, look at that. We were on the same page, brother. As you can see, I was also looking at these two. Selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test, and phase peak, creek, spring. So that's why also we want to see a quick recovery come out of here as well, because then, you know, it will solidify that, especially if we get to the top of the range. Because then if we get to the top of the range, then what are we working on? We're working on sign of strength. And then we can go ahead and reverse this puppy on out of here after being stuck down here for several months, right? But good eye, and you'll actually find you won't find these everywhere. Some charts are uglier than others, but some are pretty clear in here with the really just technically right on cue. All phases of Wyckoff in there, and that this was our creek spring. So good eye, Spencer. And thanks for bringing that up, because I don't know if I would have remembered to bring that up today on the stream. And that was something I wanted to talk about. On another note, Technic, it's his birthday today. So everybody wish Technic a happy birthday. Got it, brother. I remembered. All right, JJ4 Pope, BCB. What's the best case XRP scenario if market only does a $1.5 trillion market cap? Jumps as per your video yesterday. We're just looking at a quick 3x setup, Dow or dump or new all-time high possible. Thank you very much. Let's all go. We'll have to see, man. Hopefully it's XRP taking most of the capital. We don't know, man. We'll have to see what the market's doing at that particular time. Again, best case scenario is that it's a full 4.236 extension. That's a big enough rise for something like that to happen, but I don't have a way to know, like, if we go to $1.5 trillion, I don't have a way to know what percentage of that goes to which asset. There's just no possible way to know that. But thank you, JJ. Martin Kelly, loving the daily videos, man. I appreciate your content as always and all you do for us. I'm waiting for you to come over to the UK so I can come say hi. Yeah. I look for, one day we'll go to the UK, and I really, looking at the stuff of Apex for XRP right now, it's, I wish I was there. But man, I have traveled so much in the last 3 months. While it's night, I think about it. I still think about like getting on that plane right now, taking 24 hours to get there, 24 hours to get back, and the jet lag. And I'm like, I wish I was there. I really, really wish I was there, but my body just can't take it anymore. After what I've done in the last 3 months, going to Australia, Austin, Las Vegas, that just beat. But yeah, hopefully next year. Hopefully there's something big going on there next year. And thank you. I'm glad you like the videos. The videos are fun. It's a nice little summer change to have the videos going on. Mr. Nobody. Good morning, BCB. Happy Wednesday, my dude. Important question for you. Do you have a giant frog button you hit when you drop the frog? That's a great question. No. I do everything super manually, and here's how I do it. All right, you ready? I have another browser that I open up, and when I open up this browser, I can no longer see the chat right now. But here we go. I hit play on the frog. Show you how it works here. And then I come over to Streamlabs, and I turn on the source that I have, which is my YouTube source. And here you go. You can actually see my mouse. Let's see if you can see my mouse here. There you go. There's my mouse, me doing things. And I have YouTube open here. And so it's just pause. Normal stuff. I can turn, sometimes you can see closed captions on, so I can come down here and hit closed captions. There you go. It's all done pretty manually. But we're already here. Let's do it.
It is Wednesday, my It is Wednesday.
But there's way better ways to do that. And this summer, my plan is to kind of improve things a little bit around here, hopefully. Simple stuff. like make a video and have a little element pop up on the screen. You know, like people do that stuff, like the little thing that pops up and it's like, it's all animated and it's like, hey, subscribe to the channel. Like just simple stuff like that. And then like, what do you call it? A mixer board. That's where you push the button, like you just asked. And then like, it'll trigger it all. And like changing my streaming software and getting better streaming software so it can be really automated and become like a better show. And figuring out how to play an intro. Because what do I do? I come over here, I open up the intro file on my computer, and I just push play on the file. I don't even have the intro play on the actual channel. We are very caveman over here. All right, Hot Tub Brian, thank you for coming. And very generous, brother. Hot Tub Brian, thank you, man. Thank you for coming on here and keeping us level-headed. I hope you're having a great summer and cooking some meat. Hit the likes, everyone. Buy a couple ribeyes on me. Hot Tub Brian, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I haven't barbecued in 2 weeks. And I promise my wife is watching right now. And she's like, you're right. We're going to be tonight. All right. So we'll let you dictate my future. How do I do a poll? There we go. Start a poll. What do I BBQ? Yeah, there's 2,800 people here listening, tuning in for crypto stuff, and I'm asking what I'm barbecuing. Chicken wings. Delicious steak. What's the other option we can add in there? I don't know, burgers. All right, you have 1 minute to decide, and you will dictate my dinner. Okay, Andy Philpott, thank you very much. Gifted 10 BCB memberships. I appreciate it, my man. You guys are very, very generous. I really appreciate it, guys. And then Pat gifted one after that. Pat, just wild. You're at 183, guys. It's insane. Caesar Miranda, hey BCB, how was the recession during the 2008? This is my first recession. I was wondering if it's a good idea getting a house during that. Well, when it came to the housing market, right, there was a very specific situation that ended up happening in there, which was a lot of risky loans. Unemployment spiked, and lots of home foreclosures. So, trying to think back on it. The problems that persisted were, one, they tightened up lending requirements, making it a little bit harder to get a house, to where it couldn't be such risky loans. You also had a lot of people foreclosing and walking away from their houses, and then you also had a higher unemployment rate, so it was harder to find a job. So when the housing market crashed and the stock market crashed, and when the stock market bottomed there, in 2000, the earlier part of 2009, home prices still remained very low until 2010, 2011, and because it's not like house prices crash at the same rate as the stock market does, right? People are unemployed. You have to go 90 days without paying your mortgage before you enter into foreclosure territory. And then there's another 90 days or something after that. Truthfully, I don't know how long it is. I think it's close to 6 months before anything's going to end up happening to you before you're out of your house. So you got to go a while being unemployed, losing it all and all that stuff. And then eventually having and the thing that was different about that one too is that, there was so much risky loans. People just didn't have the equity in their homes like they do now. So there was a lot more walkaways from houses back then rather than quick sales. I would imagine in a situation like right now, it wouldn't be nearly as many walkaways because why would in that time, people just didn't see the point in going through the whole process of trying to sell the house themselves to take a $50,000 loss on their house. They figured, F it. I'll just walk away from it. I'll steal the blinds and leave. And I can't tell you how many houses I saw with just the blinds were gone. It was just so weird. Imagine how bad things were. That when you buy a house, you live in the house, you lose your job, you leave, and you're so desperate that you also take the blinds from the house when you leave. That's what was constantly happening in 2009, 10, 11. And so it went on for a while. Like, it's not something that a lot of young people, they're only, when I say young, I mean like under 35. Your only view of what a recession actually is what C19 was, which lasted like 6 months. And the government came in and just blasted money, and they made it so you couldn't foreclose on your house. Like, that wasn't a recession. Like, that's not what it's like. Like, and that's people's only experience of what one truly is like. Usually long, they last for years, unemployment's up, times are tough, and it goes on for a while. It's not something that's very quick. It's something that lasts quite a while. It didn't feel like we were for at least in my life and in my world that I lived in. It didn't feel like I was really out of it until like 2012, 2013, and then really 2014. And you look back on it, and that crash was in 08 and 09. It was still trash in 10 and 11. And it felt like, 12 and 13 is where we really started to kind of come out of it. And that's just based on my memory of living through it. Gator gifted 10 memberships. Gator, thank you very much. I appreciate it, man. Steven gifted 5 as well. Thank you, guys. Yo Pilot gifted 5. Just, they're all over the place, guys. Thank you. Jay Wiles, can you harass Developer Report to get us an update? I bought Stark at 98 cents yesterday, but would like to see their updated dev numbers. Yeah, I have no idea. The only thing I see for Stark is I do see them up there on Santiment, at least, which Santiment's updated daily. So that tells you the actual activity that's happening there rather than their actual number of devs working. I know. Part of me speculated that the reason they didn't, I came up with the speculation, right? I have no way, because I don't have long conversations with them. The last time I messaged them was when they were supposed to have their quarterly report out last time. And I asked them and I said, hey, you got your report out? And they're like, we'll probably get it out in a month or so. Well, it's been more than a month now. I think we're almost at 2 months now, and they still haven't put out the report. But my bet is that with the uptick in the market, we probably saw a big shift happen throughout the market on where developers are at. And I know that they were going to present at Consensus, but they presented their 2023 annual report. And I'm wondering if maybe there was some outdated data in that 2023 annual report to where things are now that the market kind of ripped for a minute. And maybe it would have looked silly to kind of show outdated data when you already have new data. But I don't know. I don't know why they're 2 months behind. ARM Day. Yesterday's video on just a 4.236 extension, 1.52 trillion. Can XRP still reach $8 to $10? Does the market cap need to be higher for XRP to roll? I mean, it mathematically works, but will it be divvied up like that? We'll end up seeing. Corey, XRP is being adopted for payments. Okay. Maybe that could compensate the lack of dev activity. Corey, that's the speculation. It's so speculation and influencer narrative driven. Like, I always hear it. Why does this coin struggle when there's so much utility? You're not using it for anything. It's not used for anything. Right? You got influencers telling you it is with secrets upon secrets, but the numbers show it's not. Like, we can look on chain. Right? And I watched Joel Katz saying something earlier in today because they're doing the Apex thing, and he goes, he was bringing up a topic of bridges and the problems with bridges. And then he says, and it's not me here to be critical of you. It's just saying this is a problem that we need to solve. And that's the whole point of talking about this developer stuff and these user activity levels and stuff. It's not to be critical. It's to say it's a problem that needs to be solved. I'm really not going to spend too much more time on it. You have such a big influencer army of Uphold sponsors who are just there to switch the narrative up on you. I'm tired of fighting it. They're welcome to do whatever they want. I'm kind of at my rope's end on doing it. There's a coordinated effort to spin, and I'm just not going to play the game. Jay Jacob, thoughts on full extensions on others using 0.236 at the top of the rally prior to the capitulation, like total 3 last run or full extension of current range 7. Maybe others does. I don't know. Was others really on point last time? Was it total or I think it was total that was the one that was the perfect nail last time. I'd probably look more at total. Stephen Edinburgh, your support at this time is amazing, dude. Thank you. What's your thoughts on the natural gas chart? Looks great to me, and your input is more than welcome. I'm not a natural gas guy. Do we hang out here for another decade in historical norm levels? Maybe, right? It's just so slow moving. My best guess is if it even did come up in here, it would still be more of that. Just if you're going to be technical. Wish we had more data than this. Is this just the wrong one? Is there one that goes back further than that? I think there is. I know there is, because this one, people looked at this like it was some major bull market, but it was actually a retracement. Natural gas futures. I know it was. Natural gas spot. Nah, I'm pretty sure this was only a retracement of something that happened way back here. And it was like that. You may have to try to find it yourself, though. 69,675 for Bitcoin. Man, we're at 52 minutes. How far am I into the chat? I don't even know. But thank you, Steven. Non-rated beats. 5 years and I'm finally a member. You made it, bro. You made it. Andy Philpott gifted 20 memberships. And again, like part of my frustration there with the XRP stuff is like watching the narratives get spun this week. How many people were saying $1 billion was just dedicated to helping, Asia countries develop on the XRP ledger, like spending. Like, if Ripple's not dedicated, see, they're committed. They're committed. It's the same billion XRP they've done nothing with for 3 years, right? That's the reality. This whole stuff but I watched way too many people on Twitter spinning it in a totally different way. And, it's just a part of hopium. Again, just like David Schwartz says, either you could try to solve the problem. It's not being critical. It's pointing it out and saying it's a problem that has to happen. I saw people tag him and say blockchain backers creating FUD. He says there's only 50 developers on XRP. There are. You go find your data. Developerreport.com tells you there's 45, not 50. And then if you go to Santiment, it shows you it's rank number 237 for developer activity over the last 30 days. Spin it up, guys. Spin it however you want. The frustration level for me has been when trying to point these things out, there's a coordinated effort to spin it that's not happening. It's up to you guys. And, as one man, I can only do. I'm not a developer, right? So I can't, not like I have anything I can do, like say, hey, all developers, here's what we need to do. There's got to be people smarter than me, but there's a coordinated effort to spin it. And that's frustrating. Non-rated beats, 5 years, and I'm finally a member. My brother, thank you. Andy Philpott gifted 20 memberships. Man, thank you guys very, very much. Andy, gosh, what are you at, 100 already? Jeez, man, thank you. The Stoned Apes member for 10 months. We lick frogs for the desired effects. Okay. Rashad Perry gifted 5 memberships. Brother, thank you, Rashad. The Rational Biohacker. This is a donation tweet towards your plane ticket. £2. Oh, no. Man. I wish, dude. Hot tub, Brian. I'll answer you in a minute. Mr. Arnold, new member, welcome. There's been 219 members gifted. I do believe we're breaking records here. And that's not necessarily gifted, but there's 219. Most of those are gifted. That may be a new record for the channel. NDXT broke the all-time high. Love you, bud. All right, let's go. Woo. All right, let's look at total 2 again, though. No, total 3. Right. There we go. It's alive, dude. Okay, but we got to get through the rest of today. There's still more to be done here. If you have not watched yesterday's video, 1, I appreciate you being here, but 2, you need to go watch yesterday's video. What are you doing here? Go watch yesterday's video. Andy Philpott, again, another 10 memberships, brother. Thank you. Bob Esser, BCB, and the Elgato Stream Deck is what you need. Yeah, it's the Elgato Stream Deck. Right, that's what I need. Pat gifted 20 again. My gosh. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you, Rob. And Hot Tub Brian says, have you been fishing lately? Do you have any good stories? I have not been fishing, bro. I've not. However, if we get into expansion, I'll be fishing all the time. For those who've been around for a long time, it's one of my favorite pastimes. That if things are rampaging, I enjoy fishing. You could actually shut your brain down, not be thinking, not be worrying, and just focusing on the dingus fish. So, all right. There you go. Phase 1, okay? Phase 2, right? So we're going to start wrapping things up here real quick, but let me tell you the plan for today, okay? Tell your boss you're taking a half day. That's the first thing. Or you have 3 hours and 35 minutes to complete all the work that you have for today, okay? After that, there's no more work getting done today. It's just goofing off. We'll be live streaming here. We'll do the Fed meeting. So essentially what happens here is in 3 hours and 35 minutes, they will release the decision. Okay, they'll tell us what's going to happen in regards to rates. We will go live 5 minutes before this to kind of prepare for that. We'll have the charts up. We'll have the Dow up. We'll have Bitcoin up. We'll have the dollar up, gold up, crypto, all that stuff. We'll have the charts ready to go. We'll watch the charts to see how they react to the decision. Then we kind of hang out and goof off for about 30 minutes until Jerome Powell comes on stage and does his talk. Okay, he's going to give forward guidance, and then he's going to answer questions and stuff too. Down here on the bottom left of the screen is where we will be watching Jerome Powell. Okay, so I'll have like Bitcoin up here, or I'll have the Dow Jones Industrial Average up here, and I'll have Bitcoin down here. We'll kind of look at it like this. And right all throughout here, we're going to have the live stream of Jerome Powell in here and watching how the market's reacting to all those events going on at the exact same time. It's typically quite a bit of fun. And if we get to the end successfully, we play the frog. And I'm hard ruled on that, man. If things hit the fan, we don't play the frog. And so if things are flat, we don't play the frog. Things have to break out, and then we hit the frog. And I think during all of this, we've only been able to play the frog 1 or 2 times. So hopefully today is the day that we can end up playing it, and we can see some excitement show up here in the markets. We've been wanting to get through this. Obviously, we're having a first initial positive reaction to CPI. Again, this is one of like the biggest days ever. CPI is typically creates volatility for the whole week in the stock market. Typically, the FOMC meeting creates volatility for the whole week in the stock market, and we're happening to get both of those things on the same day. Our first one, obviously good. Now we're waiting for our second one to come out and see what they end up saying. So tune in here to this channel in 3 hours, and then we will spend time doing that together, and hopefully everything pans out okay. So far, so good. We got the reactions that we've been wanting to see happen in here for the initial reactions off of the support levels, like we talked about in yesterday's video. Again, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, you obviously have 3.5 hours to get that out of the way before we go into the Fed info. And then otherwise, I'll check in with you guys then. But as of now, the dollar getting smashed down to 104.30. The Russell is up 3.3%. The Nasdaq's up 1.5%. The Dow is up 0.55%. So Dow not holding up quite as big as tech is. Who's killing it in tech? There's Coinbase. That's what we were kind of just talking about over there. Coinbase, Nvidia, Apple. You have GameStop, United Health, AMC down on the bottom side of it all. But Nasdaq's doing well with S&P and the Russell. Dow lagging behind. Bitcoin 69,800. Otherwise, Philip Mann gives 5. Thank you. Kevin Smith breaking records because Pat, Andy, and company have all the pent-up donation rage from not having markets in the morning every day of the week. That might be it. It also might be because we got a nice bounce in the market. I'll take that. I'll take that too. Philip Mann, steaks tonight. Yeah, we got 58% saying delicious steaks. I am glad to see that you guys said chicken wings over burgers because if you have not done chicken wings on the barbecue, on the propane, they are the bomb. They are the bomb. Yo Pilot gifted 10. Gosh, man, thank you. Vox Game says, I'm ready to find out if the moon is really made of blue cheese. It goes good with that steak. All right. All right, PTW, you hear that? We doing steak tonight. We doing good steak tonight if we get an FOMC breakout. All right. We're done. Guys, check out bcbacker.com for over 40 videos and 11 hours of content from me teaching you how to set up your own charts and indicators within TradingView and CoinTrader Pro. And of course, check out the newsletter over here. You know what it is. It's all the great stuff, all the research stuff, and taking a look at the markets, the most recent ones showing those confluences between now and exactly what we did last time in the market and how similar we actually are, not just on the charts, but just in societal behavior of what's going on in there. Oscar Hernandez says a huge happy birthday to Courtney. Yeah, Courtney, I hope you're doing well. So you had a big day yesterday, and wish you the best, girl. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Check out bcbacker.com. Check out the newsletter. There's links down in the descriptions of this live stream to both of them, and then there's links in the descriptions of all my videos. I'll check in with you guys here in 3.5 hours. Set your alarms on your phones right now. Go ahead and email your boss. Tell them to shove it. And I'll see you guys then. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Wait, do this thing one more time. I'm a little rusty. And we're going to do it on, we're going to chill. We're chilling.
It is Wednesday, my
All right. Okay, now I got to do this. Let me get this right this time. There we go. Okay. There we go, guys. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I know we are happy to see some green show up right when we wanted to. Thank goodness. We'll check in on it again in 3.5 hours for the live stream. I look forward to seeing you all then. Have an absolutely wonderful day. Let's do this thing. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.